Alright, so I initially planned to do this video yesterday, but you know how it is. New Year's Eve, hanging out with friends, doing all that stuff, which, by the way, Happy New Year's, everyone. I hope you all had a safe night, had a fun night, and, yeah, like I said, my show yesterday, I genuinely think 2025 will be better than previous years. With 2025, though, that means one thing. Fights are going to be back soon. Thank fucking God, man. Because this has been the most depressing time in recent memory. Not being able to watch any fights. Like, how dare fighters have holidays and that. Jokes aside, though. Today, we are going to read an article talking about Michael Bisping discussing Magomed Ankalaev, and this is a video that I wanted to do for a while now. Now, I'm gonna preface a few things before I get into it. Magomed Ankalaev is without a doubt the number one contender. He has earned a shot at the title. I think at the moment, he is the biggest threat that Pereira hasn't faced yet. So, before I take over any of Bisping's points on accident, let's head over to this article, read it as usual. I will give my opinion after, and we're going to talk about both Pereira and Ankalaev. So, Michael Bisping. Magomed Ankalaev will probably get knocked out by Alex Pereira in UFC title fight. Michael Bisping doesn't see Magomed Ankalaev dethroning UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira. Ankalaev, 19-1-1, 10-1-1 in the UFC, is projected to be the next in line to challenge Pereira. 12-2 in MMA, 9-1 in the UFC. Although Peloton recently hinted that the UFC could have other plans for him, with Ankalaev saying he wouldn't utilize his ground game in a potential title fight against Pereira, UFC Hall of Famer and commentator Bisping sees him suffering the same fate as the past three opponents who have challenged the Brazilian. When you look at some of these people that Pereira beat, Khalil Roundtree Jr., Yuri Prochazka, great fighters, very, very tough, but they do have some holes. Bisping told TNT Sports, Magomed Ankalaev is much bigger than those guys as well. He's gigantic for the weight class, and of course, he's from Dagestan. He's not Khabib, he's not a Khabib-style wrestler, where he can wrestle. But he says he's not going to use it if he was to use it and really go out there with the game plan and commit to it. I could see Magomed Ankalaev being the champion, but he's not going to do that. He's going to go there, he's going to trade with him, and then probably get knocked out. Alex Pereira will still be the champ. Pereira defended his light heavyweight title 3 times. Yeah, we know this. And then Magomed Ankalaev beat Alexander Rakic in a very weird fight, I must say. I genuinely have to say, Magomed Ankalaev won that fight. But I think Rakic's corner definitely sabotaged him in that fight. So, now, I want to talk a bit about this, right? Because Pereira is in territory only a handful of fighters have ever been in the conversation of seriously. That is the GOAT conversation. Whether you like it or not, what what Pereira has done in 3 years is unmatched by anybody in the UFC. To come in, run through a few middleweights, come back from behind, knock Izzy out. Then he did get knocked out by Izzy after he beat Izzy 3 times in total. And then he moved up to light heavyweight, had a really close fight with Mahovic. And I know a lot of people thought Jan won that fight, but it wasn't a robbery. I feel like we use the term robbery way too much. Yabohovic did mix in the takedowns effectively. But I do believe that it was a close fight. I could have seen either fighter winning it, and Pereira was the one that won it. Then he comes in, he fights Yuri for the vacant title, knocks him out. Nobody wanted the UFC 300 main event. Nobody. Not Jones, not Sean, not Rikus, not Taporia. None of these champs, right? Alex Pereira comes in. He says, yeah, I'll take the fight. And then, I know that one is controversial, but he knocked out Jamal Hill. And that was on Jamal Hill for not protecting himself at all times. The thing that the referee says at the beginning of every fight. Right? Then we get to October. Nobody wants to step up. Pereira raises his hand. Yeah, I'll step in. Go around 3, cool. I'll take that fight. And as controversial as that fight was when it was booked, and yes, it actually should have been Magomed Ankalaev. I won't disagree there. He showed that he can face adversity, and in those first 2 rounds, he really did. And then he came back in the 3rd and 4th, used the body shots to TKO Cole Roundtree. I want to pull up Magomed Ankalaev's record. And then I'm going to talk about why I don't think Magomed Ankalaev is this major test that people think he will be. I'm not saying he's not a threat. He is absolutely a threat. Like I said, I think he's the biggest threat in 205 right now in the title picture that Alex hasn't fought. So, now I'm going to have to zoom in. There we go. So, Magomed Ankalaev won that really weird Alexander Rakic fight, but he clearly won it. Then he KO'd Johnny Walker. Then the no contest against Johnny Walker. Before that, you have that really weird split draw with Jan Blachowicz, which I know that Jan Blachowicz said he lost the fight. Cool, you want to give it to him. But it's still up to... It's up to Magomed Ankalaev to state his case why he deserves the title shot. Your performance on the mic, and I'm not saying he's bad on the mic, I'm not saying he's bad in the cage. You gotta show people that you are a threat. TKOing Anthony Smith. You know what? I like Anthony Smith. TKOing Anthony Smith isn't a big deal. I hate to say it. Unanimous decision against Thiago Santos, okay. Volkanovski, unanimous decision, good win. Nikita Krylov, unanimous decision, good win. Ian Kutuvala, first on KO, good win. Back to back first on knockouts. Then you have Dolce Ongibada, another knockout. Kelvin Abreu KO'd Marcin Pedrino. Then you had that last second submission loss to Paul Craig. Moving on before, that was his debut too, I forgot that. He won against Celso Ricardo de Silva, first on KO. Wagner Plato, first on KO. Maxim Grishin, fourth on TKO. Arthur Astikov, unanimous decision. Lloyd Marshbanks, TKO. The rest of these, decision. So, this is the part where I'm going to piss people off here. I don't know if Magomed Ankalaev can keep up with Pereira. I don't think anybody is able to chin Pereira's shots. If you aren't named Khalil Roundtree. If you aren't as skilled as an Israel Adesanya. Then we need to get in whether or not the UFC could get behind promoting Ankalaev as champion. Alex Pereira is one of the most marketable fighters there is in the UFC currently. Connor's gone, right? And I know he's saying he'll come back. I'll believe it when I see it, right? This isn't like Alex hasn't fought people with good ground game. Yuri submitted Glover Teixeira for the belt. He didn't use his grappling. Jamal Hill, he has good grappling when he uses it. I know he's more of a striker. But I believe if Jamal Hill would have mixed in the takedown, it would have looked good. And then you have Ankalaev saying he isn't going to use his grappling. Maybe that's to hype up the fight. But I agree with Bisping. If he does that, he's going to get knocked out instantly. Maybe not instantly, but he will get knocked out. And like I've been saying in recent videos, I don't think Ankalaev will be this ultimate test that people think he will be. I believe that ultimate test will be a John Jones, will be a Tom Aspinall, a Dricus even. I feel like Dricus will be a true threat to Pereira. Now, whether Alex goes down, Dricus comes up, you're going to have the weight issue, you're going to have the hydration issue, you're going to have this issue and that issue and many others. But when you look at Ankalaev, when you look at Pereira, Ankalaev was offered the title fight numerous times allegedly and declined it. I know there was a weird thing where they booked Ankalaev against Rakic and then they made the Khalil fight. That was a little weird. it did look like the UFC was protecting him. And I know that the recent stance that the MMA community is taking is that Pereira is ducking Magomed Ankalaev. I disagree. I feel like Pereira will fight anybody who is in front of him. That's what he's done his entire time in the UFC. That's what he did his entire time in Glory and in kickboxing. Right? But Ankalaev, again, we'll have to see how the press goes. We'll have to see how the build-up goes. I feel like after the Yan fight, the UFC has concerns of him performing. And they have concerns of him, being able to bring in the crowd. I think we're going to see Pereira February, March. I know he's hinting that he might be in Perth. I think he means he'll be in the crowd. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Michael Bisping's take on Pereira versus Ankalaev? Do you think Bisping is wrong? Do you think Magomed Ankalaev is a bigger test than any of his other fights? Or do you believe if Magomed Ankalaev says he's not going to show off his wrestling, we will see what we've seen in the last few Pereira fights? I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Other than that, that's all I got. Later.